get started with your name.
Name Charles Eastland.
Will you spell that for me?
Charles Eastland, Eastland.
Absolutely. And Charles is traditional spelling?
Yes.
Okay, yes, sir. So I guess tell me a little bit about Saturday morning. Describe the scene to me. What was that like?
I was up all night dealing with the thunderstorms, and around about 5:30, I was still up, and I was sitting on the couch looking at news, and all of a sudden I start hearing something rattling and start boom, boom. I thought it was a thunder, but it wasn't thunder, and I kept hearing it, and it was shaking the house. I went out the back door and looked out the back door and looked to see all the smoke, and I seen a flame jump above the trees, and I said, look, something ain't right. So I put my shoes on, got in the truck, came over here. By the time I came over here, it was everybody down here at Heinz Tire. And when I was right here on that road over there and went off again, I felt the shock wave of it. You know, it was just boom. You felt it, you know. And everybody was coming over to Heinz Tire. You could still feel it. Whatever it was loud. You know, that's about the loudest stuff I've been here over 50-something years. That's loud as I've ever heard it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Wow. So, I mean, seeing the damage today, it's blown to pieces like 300 yards or so. So, I mean, for the people that live around here, the damage and everything, I mean, you live just a block away or so. Like,
Yeah.
How does that make you feel as a resident around here?
Well, only thing I need to be make sure to let folks know what's in the neighborhood, cause I just didn't know what was in the neighborhood, something like that. That in the neighborhood with all that gas and if it went off all at one time, it'd probably level all this off. You know, cause that shock wave, that's just one shock wave. Just imagine it was one big shock wave, it'll level everything off. That's my concern about it. You know, yeah.
Absolutely. Was there anything about all this that you'd like to add, talk about, mention that I just wouldn't even think to ask you?
Well, they just need to let somebody know what's in the neighborhood. That's the main thing. You know what's around here, like in that building, and all that type of flammable material that, because you got a lot of folks that got business around there that could have caught anything to fire. Especially, luckily it was raining that morning. But if it wouldn't rain, the flame would have caught all them bushes on fire over there.
Can I go ahead and get started with your name?
Sarah Wheeler,
How do you spell that?
Wheeler,
And Sarah's traditional spelling? Okay, yes, ma'am.
with an H.
With an H. Good.
Yes.
So I guess describe what it was like Saturday for me.
Well, I lived right there. I had a bird's eye view, and I thought that it was thunder again. But on the third explosion, I realized it wasn't. So I jumped out of bed and ran and looked out the window, and there was fire and black smoke going everywhere. It is a whole lot of noise.
So hearing from your neighbors around here, some of the people that were out that day, what have they been saying about it?
Well, we were all surprised. We don't expect anything like that. This is a quiet neighborhood, and everybody was coming out and looking and surprised.
So, I guess just seeing the fire, seeing the explosions, if you could maybe describe that to me, what was it like?
Well, it was something I've never seen before, and the black smoke was awful. When the fire department got here, they ran the ladder out and turned the hose on, and the wind was blowing so hard it blew the water back this way. It didn't even touch the fire, so they had to stop for a while till the wind laid. But it was something to see.
How bad was some of the damage around here?
Well, I don't think we had any damage up here. There's some down here at the gym place, the little places in the roof and things like that.
And the apartments behind you, they caught fire?
I understood that one did, but I'm not sure about that. But I know there was some roof damage over there from the explosions.
Yes, ma'am. Is there anything else you wanted to add about Saturday? The explosions, the aftermath, really anything about it that I just wouldn't even have thought to ask you about?
No, not that I can think of. I know that the firemen and everybody was working really hard to get it out. They were having a time with it, especially with the wind blowing so hard.
Can I go ahead and get started with your name?
Jerry Ham.
Will you spell that for me?
Jerryhamm.
Absolutely, yes, sir. And are you the owner here?
I am the owner.
Okay. And what's the name of the place?
It's Jerry's Mobile RV.
Absolutely. Just want to get all that right. Get
Right.
that out of the way. So, I guess tell me a little bit about the damage to your property. Not only your truck, but the trailers too.
Well, my storage lot down here, I got several trailers damaged, containers that's sticking through the roof. My truck behind me damaged. Skylight on my building's knocked out. And truck around the side here's got a hole in the roof of it. It's just, I hadn't really got all the damage assessed yet for what it is.
About how many trucks, trailers on your lot are affected?
On my service lot down there, I think it's either 4 or 5, and 2 trucks.
That's quite a bit of money considering each trailer. I mean,
Oh yeah,
nobody's going to buy that till it either gets
it's
fixed.
either got to be fixed or totaled out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, what does that mean for your business when something like this happens?
Well, I got to file it on my insurance, in which there's several thousands of dollars I got to come up with to pay the deductible because it's $1,000 per unit until things get to rolling. And I haven't heard anything from the owners of the merchandise that was in there. They was renting the building, so I haven't heard anything from them. So I don't know. That's about all I can say about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I guess with your business right here and that building over there exploded on Saturday, I guess, how does it make you feel, I guess, to have places around here that you don't exactly know what's inside, what's flammable?
Well, I had no idea that was in there, and that stuff is highly explosive. I got on my phone. I got a picture of the canisters. It was that's what was exploding. I don't know if you can see it or not, but out here in the sun you can't.
Yeah.
But that's what was.
I've seen a lot of those laying around.
Yeah, it's it's just the whole surrounding area has just got damaged. The apartment building over here, I don't know if you've been over there. It's like it was in a war zone. It's got holes in the roofs, windows where they went through the windows. But we just gotta wait them out, see what's going on. I'm waiting on the adjusters to come by and look at my stuff.
Yes, sir. When should that be, do you think?
I have no idea. They got it took me about an hour and a half to get through this morning on the phone. So that's how busy they are. All the storm damage and plus this here going on. But eventually they'll get to me.
Yeah.
If my customers hang on that long.
Yes, sir. So with that, I guess, what do you think the turnaround might be until those trailers are fixed, and is that going to hurt your business at all?
Yeah, it's already hurt my business. I had to close Saturday. I couldn't even open up Saturday. Lost a lot of business there, and depending on whether they let me do the work or not. But you got it's the Bighorn fifth wheel down there. It's probably got $19,000 of damage to it. You're looking at least 50 hours of labor. The whole roof is going to have to be replaced, and it's just we're looking, if we get all the jobs down there, have to do all the jobs, we're probably looking at a month getting them back out on the road, and that puts you behind on other business you could be doing, studying that business there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And was there anything I didn't ask you about all this that you'd really like to talk about?
No, that's about it. There ain't too much you can talk about.
If you can, get us started with any updates on the investigation yet?
So everything's still under investigation right now. We have the state and our local working with the police and the fire. We won't know the cause of the fire for at least a week or so, at the least. The police, our local police, and the drug task force, everything is doing all their searching and going now as well. which I had a meeting this morning with my fire chief and police chief, just kind of getting what's going on and kind of get ahead of the game before everything gets going. I know one of the biggest complaints, again, you had debris, which you saw at the thing. We had debris 300 yards away, did a damage to a lot of property. So the homeowners, the property owners, all of them, they have to go through their insurance, file the claims with their insurance, and from there it'll be hashed out amongst, you know, the responsible parties and all. But there's nothing the city can do. You know, I'm getting calls all the time like, what do we do? All I can say is get with your homeowners, your renter's insurance, you know, all your policies and get it going. Which my insurance guy said, just make sure you document everything, pictures, phone calls, the whole 9 yards. Which we've also on Facebook, our police have put out a post also, it's kind of explaining that same thing, which the city and the fire did the same thing as well. It is not a criminal investigation yet until something's found or something, you know, again, depends on how it rolls one way or the other. If it's a criminal, and then that's when the police gets involved, and then that's when we'll come in and start taking reports after that.
Sure, absolutely, yes, sir. And do you happen to have any estimates of the total damage caused in that?
Oh, those numbers are, like I said, these people are, you know, it happened on Saturday. So this early this week is when all the adjusters and everybody's going to come out. It's going to be pretty good bill, just because it affected such a large area. You know, we've got reports of windshields being bust out of vehicles, holes in roofs. I know we had an apartment complex that actually took debris, went through the roof, was actually metal debris was inside the apartment complex. So, and then you got, you know, all the buildings around it, which I think I showed you pictures where the adjacent building next to the warehouse that burnt has holes all in the roof, the sides. He had debris all inside of it, and you know, that's just one building. And then, of course, you know, the campers next door, they were all taking direct damages. You could have saw, you know, shivers of metal sticking out of roofs of the campers. So when they start running the numbers, it's going to be pretty hefty.
Absolutely, yes, sir. And I guess if you can't answer this, that's totally fine. But because it's not a criminal investigation yet, that means there's not really any indication that anything illegal was going on there.
No, well, again, you know, everybody, you know, speculates on everything, and you have everybody online saying this, everybody saying all this. Again, we have got to get the reports in. Again, we have the local police, the state fire and police, so everything's going to be taken care of. When it comes out one way or the other, the city will be the first one to announce it. But we can't say anything. You know, we can't say what was there. We can't say who the owner was. We can't do any of that. But again, I'm just letting you know it's still being investigated.
Absolutely, yes, sir. The city can't do too much with it because it's all private property there. Was there any damage to the street? Is it open again?
Oh, the street is open again. Again, just be careful. There's still going to be some debris. We got as much of it we can. You know, somebody could be driving down the road, it could fall off their vehicle. You know what I mean? Again, I had to actually take my truck to the car wash this morning because I was parked all the way at the end on 6th Street, and I had residue from it. You know, that was a good 300 something yards away. So there's going to be a lot of stuff everywhere. And my biggest thing is, you know, whoever's going to be maintaining that property and around areas, you know, just be careful. If there's somebody out with a lawnmower, it's going to be spreading that stuff everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I guess to close this out, what was the response like on Saturday? You know, the city's response, police, fire, everybody there.
All hands on deck. You know, it happened early, 6 something in that morning, rough. I think the first phone call came out at 6:41, which I was up, had my clothes on, was going out the door when I got the phone call. So when I arrived, you know, there was police cars rolling in, fire trucks rolling in. You know, they were there probably 10 minutes before I got there. And it was a hectic situation. We had a lot of a lot of people in a small area with not knowing what was going on at that time. We heard the explosions. Our firemen could not get close enough to put the water on it until the explosions were done, where we had some of my firefighters was having those projectiles zipping by them. So we were all taking cover. We couldn't put anybody in danger, the cops or anybody, you know. We all was taking precautions because we did not know what it was. And that was probably the most dangerous part of that. We had to wait it out. And when you have explosions like that, this bone-shattering percussions, I was sitting there behind the fire truck just taking that feeling and watching my police officers and watching my firemen there. And dude, I don't know how they do it every day. I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of terrified because again, that's going off. You sound like you're in a war zone. Again, it sounds like artillery shells is exploding around you, and they do this day in and day out. You know what I mean? And to me, that says a lot for our first responders. Which I know Tuscumbia, we were voted like the safest city in Alabama. And with my firemen and police officers, what they do day in, day out, I agree. They put themselves in harm's way to protect everyone in Tuscumbia and the surrounding areas. And it wasn't just our police officers. You know, we had Muscle Shoals, Sheffield, the county, everybody was there helping and assisting us in this here. So again, it seems like Tuscumbia is catching a lot of bad weather, bad stuff like this happening. And, you know, I hate it because it is affecting our citizens, it's affecting our city. But I think we're probably one of the better equipped cities in our area to actually take on this task. And with everybody helping us, man, I think it's just, you know, I'm blessed that we are able to do what we do.
Absolutely, yes, sir. Was there anything you wanted to add about Saturday that I just wouldn't even have thought to ask you about? Anything ongoing? Any updates?
Well, Saturday, of course, it was when the post had the tornadoes and everything else. So for us to wake up that morning after the first line of storms come through to a building warehouse blowing up, it started our day off rocky. And what a lot of people don't know about our first responders, they're doing that. They get about a 45-minute nap, and they're right back at it, getting ready for the storms. So our guys are worked to their bones, and I cannot show appreciation as much as they should get, because it's really tails for our city employees, because they do everything that they're asked to do plus. And I'm proud to be a Tuscumbian. I'm proud to be in the position I'm at, and I'm very proud of the first responders.